Well, good afternoon, and thank you so much. We welcome our Secretary of Transportation, and we know that coming from Illinois, that he understands the Great Lakes and our passion for our great waters. Working with our team, working with Carl Levin and Carolyn Kilpatrick and John Dingell and our whole delegation, we are very passionate about fully developing this wonderful natural resource for us. When we look at the capabilities of what we're going to be able to do, all the work that's being done on the RiverWalk, all the work that's being done on the waterfront, the potential of what actually will be happening in terms of the cruises and the ferry boats and the transportation, it is extremely exciting. And I think of not only folks coming over from Chicago on fast rail, but the folks that are going to get into a wonderful cruise ship and be able to move on around up through Lake St. Clair, go up to Port Huron, go on around up to Alpena, where we have the international dive sites, to be able to look at all those wonderful lighthouses more than any other state we have all over our beautiful state, to be able to tour right on around and stop in Chicago on the other end. And the opportunity for us in tourism dollars, in commercial movement, as we look at what we can do with passengers and commerce and so on, this is extremely exciting. So it's my pleasure to continue to be a partner on all of this. And I have to also say that on a personal note, one of my very favorite things when I have the opportunity on a sunny, warm Saturday or Sunday is to come on down and to watch all of the kids that are running around, that are playing in the water, that are on the merry-go-round, that families that are sitting out and enjoying the beautiful day. This is a spot for community. This is a spot for family, as well as a real opportunity for us as we move forward as it relates to economic development and jobs. So thanks to the Port Authority and the state and my colleagues. And I want to now introduce someone who has had a passion for this since his time on the Detroit City Council as president. And it's my pleasure to work as a partner with Carl Levin.
Debbie, thank you. Thanks for all the great work you do in the Senate. Carolyn Cheeks-Kilpatrick, thank you. John Dingell. This river has had a bunch of great supporters through the recent years. None greater than John Dingell, all the work he's done downriver with the refuge down there. But today we're really celebrating the near completion of our wharf and our dock and our center, where people are going to be able to come to Detroit, across this river, down the river, up the river, and land here. And the building, which is behind us, now almost completed, and the wharf and the dock that these recovery funds are going to build will make it possible for people now to visit our city, just the way 300 years ago now, the first visitors came to Detroit. This is where really it all began. We're not too far away, literally, from where the landings were by the first visitors, foreign visitors to Detroit. And now, for the last, 50 or 100 years, we've been struggling to return this riverfront to the people. For so long, it was occupied by buildings, warehouses, commercial, and then vacated, empty buildings for a long time. And so what we're witnessing now is the renewal of this riverfront. It's been a long effort. Debbie mentioned that I was president of the city council, so that 30-some years ago, this effort was underway to return this riverfront to the people of Detroit and Michigan. We got a bunch of crown jewels along this riverfront now. One of them is the one that is being built and that is going to be completed next year. The first funding for this building was actually appropriated in 1999. So 10 years ago, we began to put the money away so that we could build the building behind us. I've been proud, obviously, to be a part of it, to work with the delegation to make this possible, but now to introduce a great friend of the people of Michigan. Our Secretary of Transportation, Ray LaHood, was in the Congress, as John Dingell mentioned. There he was active in transportation issues. For a while was on the Transportation Committee. He's proven himself to be a great friend of the state of Michigan. He comes from Illinois, so that he does understand not only manufacturing, industrial areas of our country, but he understands the Great Lakes. When he was in the House of Representatives, it was something of a little different place. Bob Michael was the one who I think helped bring him into the House of Representatives. Those were days when civility reigned in the House of Representatives. I won't describe it now other than to say that we could use a lot more people like our own delegation, but also like Ray LaHood in the House of Representatives and in the Congress. As John Dingell mentioned, he's been great for the people of Michigan in many ways, not just cash for clunkers, not just in the recovery money. $7 million was allocated to the completion of this building and to the dock, which will be completed next year, but also in a large, significant chunk of recovery money which has come to our highways. He's also been critically important in making sure that whatever mileage efficiency standards we have are fair standards, non-discriminatory standards for the automobile industry of the United States. So he's been really an essential part of Michigan's comeback. He is very sensitive to the manufacturing part of our world and our country. It's a real treat to have Ray LaHood, our Secretary of Transportation, with us today. Secretary LaHood.
Thank you, sir.